Hey, welcome. It looks like you clicked on this video because you probably got the back end of your draft order and you're not really sure how to navigate it. You're not really sure what 2022 looks like, what is advantageous for roster construction, and so on and so forth. And look no further. I've got a perfect video for you today. We're drafting a 12-team half PPR league on Sleeper, and let's get basically right into it. Waste no time. As always, if you do enjoy this content, please feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you'd like to click that button as well, and join our Discord completely free to do so. And you can get locked in with the channel all season long. Again, absolutely free. Got my draft board here with me, and we're going to get this thing right underway. I am drafting at the 112, and this video really does extend itself if you are drafting kind of like 109 to 112. These kind of builds and players will be available to you, and so this video kind of works for that range. So let's get you guys a larger view of this draft board here, and let's get it rocking and rolling. So basically what I'm looking for when it comes to this strategy is, how do the wide receivers play themselves out? And in the first 11 picks, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase all go. It would have been really fun for Jamar Chase to fall to me there, but he went at the 111 spot. So I think there's two ways to build a team. And had Jamar Chase fallen to me, I would probably have to go with either, I think I would go Stephon Diggs and Jamar Chase as like an elite wide receiver stack, because it is a half PPR league. In a full PPR, even more so. So if your league mates let wide receivers fall, exploring a elite wide receiver stack would be really advantageous. In this case, though, I'm going to pass on Devontae Adams and Travis Kelce. While those are also fun avenues to explore, like the elite tight end, I'm going to pivot. I'm going to take DeAndre Swift. If you're new to the channel, I don't leave a draft with DeAndre Swift if I can help it. So DeAndre Swift is going to go on my team. There's probably only one other player in the league that's going to project to catch more passes from the running back position this year, and his name's Christian McCaffrey if he's healthy. But DeAndre Swift, absolute, going to just be volume. And I think he's going to be so good for your leagues this year. So like I said, double wide receivers to play. I also think double tapping running back is a really good play here as well. Some really solid running backs: Kamara, Barkley, Jones. It really comes down to preference here. My pick is going to be Aaron Jones, and it's tough to leave Stephon Diggs on the board. But I think Aaron Jones also profiles like DeAndre Swift, someone who's going to get a lot of opportunity. Yes, he has to split time with A.J. Dillon, but when you look at this Green Bay offense that is missing a lot in terms of wide receiver talent, I think those opportunities are going to extend themselves to the backfield of Jones and Dillon. And Jones is still going to be the 2-minute man. He's going to be the third down man. So I look to Aaron Jones to play a big role again. So Swift and Jones to start, and you see the team before me, team 11, started Chase and Diggs. And if I could switch, that's also another thing that you could navigate. So really happy with the way that the draft has fallen to me right now. And I get my choice now of going another running back or starting to get my wide receiver 1s and 2s into place. And T. Higgins is, I think Landon and I have him, my co-host, ranked as wide receiver 13. So a really good chance, in our opinion, to be a top 12 wide receiver this year. I'm going to take T. Higgins. Michael Pittman is super tempting, but I really like the value on Travis Etienne, another running back I think that has a decent chance to have a huge year. Really comes down to, do I believe the James Robinson news of him getting a bigger workload, or this being more of a 50-50 split? James Robinson tore his Achilles. They drafted Travis Etienne when James Robinson was fully healthy. I'm a little bit sour on Cam Akers for the same reason I am on James Robinson. Like, an Achilles injury is tough to come back from. Cam Akers didn't have the burst that we saw last or previous years. So I am just going to pass on Akers And I'm going to just say Travis Etienne is going to be my guy and hope that those wide receivers come back to me, because after the fourth round, we do start to see a tier break in running back talent, right? Those running backs just aren't as the same caliber as they were in rounds 3 and 4. So I think there's a distinct break there, and I'm going to start hammering wide receiver in these middle rounds, rounds 5, 6, 7, and so on and so forth. So really strong start. Swift, Jones, Etienne at the running back position, Higgins as my 1. And it would have been great if Chris Godwin could have fallen to us there, but a little bit of a different way that we go. Okay, not what I expected, to be honest, but if you watch the last video, and I'll link a card here for you so you can, if guys like Russell Wilson and Jalen Hurts fall to you in the 6th round, I will take those guys. There's a short list there, but I will take those guys on my team because they are positional advantages, in my opinion. Hurts and Wilson both very mobile. Prescott kind of falls into that category as well. Amari Cooper, I'm not as bullish as I once was on him, but Brandon Cooks is a very, very reliable wide receiver too. And down the way, we might get back to us like a Rashad Bateman, a Devontae Smith. So I think we have to take at least one of these guys. We have to take Brandon Cooks. And then I'm going to take one of these two. It just depends on, do I go Hurts or Wilson? And I'll take Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is definitely not a guy that I get on many of my teams, but if I can get him in the 6th round, I do believe he has the same upside as like a Kyler Murray. Very, very mobile, gets another passing weapon in A.J. Brown this year. Hopefully unlocks Devontae Smith, which is somebody I'm hoping gets to me, but I probably jinxed myself as of right now. He did fall back to us. That's solid. So I'm going to absolutely enjoy that value in Devontae Smith. And then I'll also probably take Elijah Moore here. Chris Olave is also tempting. If you haven't watched any of our other content, try to just leave your drafts with one rookie wide receiver. Try not to go with multiple. Exposure to multiple rookies is somewhat problematic, as they have like an 85% rate to not be a top 36 wide receiver in their rookie years. So looking at the board here, we've got 3 wide receivers, 3 running backs, and Jalen Hurts is our quarterback. Really balanced. I like what we're looking at. DeAndre Hopkins is very tempting. And I would rather have, what you have to ask yourself in these situations as you go into your wide receiver 4s. Yes, DeAndre Hopkins could be a potential league winner for you if he returns to form, but will he be better than Elijah Moore over the course of the season? Elijah Moore gets 6 more games. I think I'm going to take that shot on Elijah Moore instead of DeAndre Hopkins. So I'm happy passing on him. Other considerations there would have been Chase Edmonds and Rashad Penny, 2 guys that project to be the starting running backs for their teams. Ken Walker is going ahead of Rashad Penny right now, and Ken Walker might not be ready for week 1. Rashad Penny was someone who won you your league last year, weeks 14 through 16. He was on a per game pace of like 5 more than Jonathan Taylor, like really, really elite stuff that he was doing. And I think if you can take Penny, if you built your team different in these earlier rounds and you went wide receiver, Edmonds and Penny are 2 guys that I would try to pick in these later rounds where they're just criminally undervalued, to be completely honest with you. So as we look at the board, we still don't have a tight end, and we've got 2 guys I like here at the top of the order. And, we don't always pick from the top. That's part of the strategy, is that you have to kind of look further down the board and who am I going to be missing out on, because 24 players are going to come off the board before this comes back to us. And I'm, really happy with taking a shot on Dameon Pierce, which I'll do. Anytime you can get somebody who might have starting running back workload and opportunity in the 9th, 10th round, I think is somebody that you have to take a shot on, regardless if you like them or not, because they have tradability, they have flexibility for your roster, and we just don't see that at the running back position. So Dameon Pierce looks like he's already beat out Marlon Mack. We'll see how that situation shakes out, but I like it as of right now. And then a tight end that I am taking ad nauseum at this point in drafts where I punt that tight end position is Cole Kmet. I really, really do truly feel like the breakout for him is coming. Had 93 targets last year. Justin Fields needs somebody to throw at, and outside of Darnell Mooney, the list is not very inspiring. Insert Cole Kmet. I do think that he is going to be very, very stable for your fantasy teams, and you're paying 10th round costs, which is typically where we see players in the past prove their value and jump up to like a top 6 tight end and really be a difference maker for you. Now it comes down to the Flyers. Who are some guys we want to put our chips on? Brian Robinson's an interesting name. We saw some news come out that Ron Rivera said Antonio Gibson is the punt returner. I don't know if I look too much into that, but Mike the Fantasy Hitman from the Fantasy Footballers made a really good point. You don't necessarily just let your star running back take those, exclusive punt and kick returns just because they want to do it. I know Antonio Gibson said in the past that he wants to be involved with special teams, but that doesn't mean that you allow him that chance just because he wants to do it. Zeke caught kicks for a little bit. Saquon Barkley tried it out here and there, but you just don't see those star running backs. You don't see Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey fielding kicks exclusively. They might get a shot here or there, but it's typically not something. So you can read into that situation if you want. Do you really want a piece of the Washington backfield? I don't know. I mean, let's be honest with Brian Robinson. It took him 5 years to break out at Alabama. Not even break out. He just kind of waited all the other starters out. So I'm kind of on the fence about him, to be completely honest. But I do like Jahan Dotson. If you like Terry McLaurin, you probably like Jahan Dotson as well. There's a couple people I could pick, no doubt. Man, I'm just going to take Christian Watson. He's my guy after all that. and you know what? We'll take Jacoby Myers is also very interesting. Jamal Williams is a nice backup to what we have in DeAndre Swift. But again, when you draft your own replacement, you have to suffer a loss to gain a player. So taking somebody else's replacement is usually more advantageous than going the other direction. You know what? Just for fun, let's take Brian Robinson. A month ago, it would have been Ronald Jones. But Ronald Jones is in... I mean, the reports on him coming into camp is that he might be cut, which is crazy. And that would mean Isaiah Pacheco would just be popping off on people's teams. So I'll take Brian Robinson just for fun. I don't truly believe that he'll be a massive threat, but you never know how these things shake out. So there's the team: Swift, Jones, Higgins, Etienne, Cooks, Hurts, Devontae Smith, Elijah Moore, Dameon Pierce, Cole Kmet, Christian Watson, and Brian Robinson. I think a very balanced team. I like the upside with Jalen Hurts. I love the breakout with Cole Kmet. Don't feel like you have to draft quarterback 2 or tight end 2. You probably could with Cole Kmet, but if you've drafted like a George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, Kyle Pitts, Mark Andrews, any of those elite guys, don't feel like you have to draft another tight end. You can go out and grab somebody from the waiver wire later in your season when you need to fill that bye week, or if something happens and they get injured. But other than that, don't draft another tight end. Go ahead and draft somebody who could pop, like a Brian Robinson, if news trends in his direction. Christian Watson comes back and has a breakout game. It's like, now there's somebody that I can trade. There's somebody that I can flex. It gives your roster a lot more playability than just drafting a backup quarterback that you're not going to play until, when's Jalen Hurts bye week? Week 7, right? Week 7 is an eternity in fantasy football. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments below what you might have done different, how you're building your teams from the 112. And again, if you guys enjoyed, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate it. We'll do probably one more draft from the middle. My absolute favorite. And I think the easiest way to draft is right in that sort of 5 to 8 zone. But if you're drafting in the beginning, in the end, we've got you covered for now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.